I absolutely condemn any attempt to blow up the White House. I am absolutely pro-freedom of speech, and I defend Madonna's right to have free speech. What we were doing at the march yesterday
hang on, that's not...
was
hang on. Let me just...
I'm going to answer
I'm sorry, no,
the question. A very clear point we were... The very clear point we made in that march yesterday was that we were marching because Donald Trump has said very clearly that he plans to roll back reproductive rights for women by appointing a pro-life Supreme Court justice. One of our mission statement's main points was that we were marching to defend reproductive rights for women, because when you can't control your own body, you cannot have a free say over your contribution to the rest of the society and your participation in the economy. And that goes for all women. And our mission statement also talked about the rights of migrant women.
Sophie, you can keep talking, or at some stage I have to be able to come back at you about something you just said. You said you condemn Madonna saying, or you didn't name her, but you condemn anyone who wants to commit an act of terrorism, but you defend her freedom of speech. It's not freedom of speech to say you want to blow up the White House. That is a direct threat against the life of the president. Whether you mean it or not, you try doing that at an airport anywhere in the world, you will be arrested, you will be jailed. And she was representing this march because she was put up on an official platform. So again, I say to you, you can't defend freedom of speech when it's about blowing up the White House.
But there's two things here. First of all, I would take this conversation a lot more seriously from you, Piers, if you hadn't spent the previous week denigrating the march and talking about rabid feminists and saying it was all a load of rubbish.
I didn't mention the march before the day of the march.
So you have talked a lot about the march.
I didn't mention the march before the day of the march.
You have talked a lot about the march in terms of how stupid it all is. And so
no, I didn't say stupid.
So
I said
can I finish my point? Because we're in another situation where you're shouting at me and not letting me talk.
No, you just want to keep talking and don't want to allow a man to have his say. There we are. Now we're getting along great. Maria, a minute. Let's just bring it.
You could just let Sophie answer the question.
If you're going to make it snappy.
The point I'm going to say is, Madonna has made it very clear that she has no intention of blowing up the White House. Trump has made it very clear he has every intention of rolling back women's reproductive rights. That is the clear difference.
All right, Maria Miller. Here's the issue. A lot of women, I think, marched absolutely because they wanted to have the solidarity of being with other women and expressing the power of women. Absolutely get that. My point about it being pointless, wouldn't it be better to wait for Donald Trump to actually try and do something to infringe on women's rights? Because right now, he hasn't.
I think you have to accept that what Donald Trump has said throughout his leadership campaign about women, the way he treated Hillary Clinton, calling her a nasty woman, really does demonstrate that, you know,
she called everyone who supported Trump
a
basket of deplorables. Well, it's a two-way street. Why is she allowed to call people a basket of deplorables and get away with it? And when Trump criticises people who support her, he's the bad guy.
You know, there's one thing that women in this country have to deal with every day, which is everyday sexism, and being interrupted constantly is one of the ways that that comes to light. So if I can just finish my point.
Absolutely.
The problem we have here is somebody who's taken over leadership of the free world. They're using language which is denigratory towards women. It's not the first time people like Silvio Berlusconi and Vladimir Putin have done it as well. We need to call it out because those people are in leadership positions, and equality is enormously important for women. And those people have got leadership positions and they can actually really make a change.
Can I respond?
Yeah.
Why was there no march in protest at Bill Clinton having sexual relations with a young intern inside the Oval Office?
Piers, what I would say is we want to focus on how we improve...
Is there a simple answer to that question? Why were women not outraged by that enough to march? Why were his morals deemed to be any better or worse than Donald Trump's?
I don't want to get sidelined into that debate.
We know why. It's because he's a Democrat. So it's a political statement.
As a Conservative Member of Parliament, what I want to focus on is the here and now, how we can improve women's rights today.
Yeah,
and I think that Theresa May going to be the first world leader to see Donald Trump in his new position
totally agree with that.
Is a real vindication of the strength of Britain.
But she's not going, as she said, as a woman.
No.
She's going as the Prime Minister of this country. I say to women, the way to actually empower women is to look at someone like Theresa May and salute the fact she's the best in the country at what she does, not because she's a woman, but because she's a brilliant politician. That's why she's Prime Minister. That, to me, is far more empowering than saying, let's blow up the White House because a woman didn't win the presidency.
She's also called out Donald Trump for his sexist
Absolutely
behaviour.
right. And, by the way, Donald Trump called himself out and apologised. Right? At some point, you have to recognise he's the president.
I would just say, Ella, lots of people wonder what practical difference this can make. But the fact of the matter is that in America, there is still a huge disparity in pay. Women still do not get paid maternity leave when they have a baby. There is an issue, obviously, with harassment and violence. And, you know, these are all things that people would say it is worth marching for, even before Donald Trump has actually done any of the things which they're afraid that he might threaten to do.
No, I certainly wouldn't agree with Piers that you need to wait until someone actually does something before you protest. The protest is about a statement of intent, and in that way I think that this march was very positive because it was about saying we don't agree with the current leadership. He's the most, you know, arguably the most powerful man in the world, and so it's good to protest that if you disagree with it. But I think the basis of the protest was based on stuff like everyday sexism comments, rather than actual fundamental beliefs, the belief in abortion rights, the belief in a woman's...
And by the way,
I think...
Excuse me, can I just say, actually, that...
Well, hang on, can I finish my point? So
can women stop interrupting women, please?
I don't mind if you interrupt me at all, but the thing is... if we want to actually look at what this protest was saying, it was saying that us women, are saying the right thing, and the women who voted for Trump are saying the wrong thing. There was a very clear distinction, a lot of snobbery going on. That makes me very uncomfortable.
52% of all white women in America did not vote for the white female candidate. They voted for Donald Trump. The time to protest was 2.5 months ago, when he could have stopped him becoming president. It's a bit late now to take your placards there. Many of those people marching didn't bother voting.
It's never too late for protest, but the
protest too late to stop him becoming president.
The protest has to be about making real
Ladies,
change,
it's been a very good debate. It's been reasonably civilised. Should we end group hug?
No, thanks.
No, thanks.